What's up, guys? It's time to review Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Dog Will Hunt. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 stars Bill Mosley, Carolyn Williams, and is directed by Tobe Hooper. What's up, guys? We're finally back on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reviews, and I'm really excited to do this one. This is part 2. Now, if you paid attention to my recent Texas Chainsaw reviews, I was going in reverse order, but I have never seen part 2 or part 3 or the Next Generation. So I thought, you know what, I'll go ahead and review 2 first, just because if I review 3, there might be some information there that is pertinent to part 2, and I don't want to get all, befuzzled. So I thought, hey, I'd go ahead and review part 2, 3, then the Next Generation. And that'll wrap it all up, guys. But I'm super excited to review this one because I know there are a lot of fans of this one because it's so different. And I've never seen it, so I'm really excited to share my thoughts with you. And what are my thoughts? Dog Will Hunt. Guys, I freaking had a blast with this movie. I might say Dog Will Hunt a few more times in this review. I do apologize. But first, let's get into the story. Now, this one takes place about 13 years after the first one. And really the Sawyers have went into hiding. And so the police, they can't catch these guys. But Dennis Hopper is a cop who has a real major Jones for finding the Sawyers because he has a personal connection. His brother was Franklin from the first one. And so the biggest tip that he gets is right at the beginning of this movie, you got these 2 yuppies, they're in their truck, and they're just complete morons, complete idiots. And by the way, this scene will pretty much set up the tone of this movie. The way these 2 yuppies are acting, it's really just off the rails, so you know that this movie is just gonna be completely insane. But this whole thing plays out over the radio. The local DJ, played by Carolyn Williams, she hears the whole thing unfold, and she has a tape of it. She brings it to Dennis Hopper, and she wants to help him. But the Sawyers also hear the tape, so they go looking for the radio DJ. Now, what I love about this movie is it's not the same as the first movie, not at all. Completely different tone. If you remember in the first movie, there was a tad bit of dark humor in there with the Sawyer family, but this one just really kicks the dark comedy door wide open. You could tell that Tobe Hooper did not want to make the same movie. He wanted to have just a great time with this one. And when you have characters like the Sawyers, you know that you have carte blanche. You can really just take this thing to all different types of territories. Have fun with it, and that's what he does. Also, I enjoy all the characters in this. First off, I got to talk about Chop Top, Bill Mosley. Bill Mosley actually went to Yale, and he created his own film called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And word of that got back to Tobe Hooper, and he really kind of did his whole Chop Top characterization in that, and that's what he brings to this. Tobe Hooper was a big fan of his work, and he really proves himself because Bill Mosley just owns this movie. Every scene with him in it is just comedy gold, but also really creepy. And I'll just go ahead and say this. As far as like dark comedy characters go, I think Chop Top might be one of the greatest characters in horror history. That's a bold statement, I know. Now, of course, I'm just talking about comedy, completely insane characters.
Hey, lick my plate, you dog dick.
Bill Mosley is a genius. What he created with this character is just bar none awesome and really keeps the movie afloat. There are moments here and there that you don't take too seriously because the comedy really is crazy. But Bill Mosley, he sells it. He is so funny in this, yet so creepy. That's a hard line to walk. He does it in spades.
Dog Will Hunt, get that bitch, Leatherface, get that bitch.
I could talk about Bill Mosley for the next 5 minutes. The next character I really enjoyed was Stretch, the radio DJ, played by Carolyn Williams. This isn't your normal damsel in distress. She takes it upon herself to help find the Sawyers, to help Dennis Hopper. And once the Sawyers catch up with her, really this is when the movie just kicks into high gear. And immediately once the Sawyers catch up with her, you're gonna notice that Leatherface kind of has a crush on Stretch. And there's one scene that involves a tub of ice and Stretch in a, what's the word I'm looking for? Uncomfortable position. And Leatherface hits puberty right at that moment. It's a really well played out scene and really uncomfortable actually. Also Dennis Hopper, he's really great as Lefty. Dennis Hopper just has that really quirky way of acting. He doesn't take a role and just go with the conventional. he makes it his own, and you can tell that behind the scenes, this guy probably tried many different approaches. He just comes off as that type of actor. And sometimes it works, and sometimes he just hits it out of the park like this, and another example is True Romance. But when Dennis Hopper is on, he is really on. Also, I love the third act in this movie, mostly because of the locations. They're in this abandoned amusement park, and the way it's lit is just perfect. The cinematography is just beautiful, and if you watch the behind the scenes on this, they go into great detail on how difficult it was to light this whole scene. And it just gives you more of an appreciation for filmmakers. Now, as far as any cons for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, it's not for everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. But to me, it's really just straight up Southern fried horror genius. As far as Southern fried horror goes, this is one of the best in my opinion. And what really works is the movie, it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It knows what it is. It knows that you're there for a good time. And I loved the hell out of this movie. I was seriously considering giving this a high purchase worthy, but just because of how excited I am to talk about it and how awesome Chop Top was in this, I'm gonna go ahead and give this Trapped on an Island. I loved Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and that's a nice surprise being that this is the first time I've ever seen the movie. To be honest, I went into this knowing nothing. I could have hated this movie, I could have loved it, but I ended up really loving it. So it's definitely a Texas Chainsaw movie that I'm gonna watch repeatedly. So what are your thoughts on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2? Post down below. Also, make sure you join the Killer Flicks Facebook group where we talk horror all day, every day. If you look down below, you can find all my social media info, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Also, feel free to check out my Patreon. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, Drumdum out.